Wait, not, let me hit record, I got stream, record. Now we're good.
Good evening, everyone. The 576th meeting of the Planning Board of the Village of Depew will come to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Member Soha?
Here.
Member Fedorovich?
Here.
Member Matuzak?
Here.
Member Spencer?
Present.
Chairman Maciejewski?
Here. Everybody please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the emergency exits, please.
The emergency exits are located to my left and to the rear of the room. In the event of an alarm or an emergency, please move in an orderly fashion to the exits and evacuate the building.
Okay, we have one item on the agenda for tonight. Just for people attending the meeting, there will be a spot in the agenda for public concerns and comments. So if anybody has any, please hold up until that point. So tonight's for the property located at 6300 Transit Road. Could we have the legal notice, please?
Please take notice that the Village of Depew Planning Board will hold a meeting on Thursday, February 5th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Pre-board meeting begins at 6:30 p.m. in conference room in the council chambers of the Municipal Building, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application for submission by Bradley Kyler on behalf of Isaac Development, LLC, for property located at 6300 Transit Road, Depew, New York. The following matters to be reviewed. He is requesting the following: concept plan approval of proposed automotive fueling station. The current zoning is C2 Shopping Center District.
Okay, who's here representing the project? If you could come forward for the record, state your name, your relationship to the project, please.
Bradley Kyler, CEO of Isaac Development.
Okay, could you give the board and the audience an overview of what you are proposing, please?
We're just looking to add a convenience store, gas pumps, on the side lot of Herbal IQ.
You could show him. You could turn and show him.
Yeah, you can turn it around. So as far as the gas pumps, you're showing the rendering of the island with the awning. How close to transit will that be?
Whatever the codes and regulations are, we haven't gone through the plans or made the plans yet or nothing like that, but everything will follow, your guys' guidelines and codes.
Could you step a little bit closer to the mic? I'm
Yeah.
sure they can't hear you. I can't hear you. Yeah, go ahead. Say it again.
It will be whatever to your guys' regulations, whatever is required by the town, state, village, whatever.
Okay, what about the convenience store? Is it going to be just your typical type convenience store? Or are you going to be selling any of your products in that store?
No. So it'll be like you'll be able to get to it from our store if you come into our store. We're trying to make just like use of the whole space. You know what I mean? Instead of like we tried leasing it, we put it out for lease. Everyone wants to put a bar there and stuff. We don't want that. Clubs or whatever. We don't want that. We just want convenience. We got a coffee shop, stuff like that. Easy stuff to make money. If we can drive more people in from transit, get gas, we think it'll pick up our business too. So, I think there's 75. There's 75 dispensaries. I think within 5 miles of us. So we're just trying to think of things too.
How many?
I think it's 75.
Within 5 miles?
Yeah. We did.
I mean, they're everywhere. I know. I didn't know there was that many.
No, we've done pretty well since we've opened. So, we got everyone, California, Michigan, everybody has come and kind of target the area, which we're still doing very well. And we're just looking for ways now to keep it, as a growing thing. And like this is just the first one. We plan on we've been talking to I think it's Speedway. They got a lot of gas stations in Long Island, New York, Westchester County and stuff. They're going away with that. They liked our concept of like the gas station. We don't know if it's going to be named that. We're just throwing that around. We don't know. You know what I mean? If a non-cannabis user may not go to the gas station. You know what I mean? So we're thinking
A cannabis user might pull up asking for the cannabis at the station,
Yeah.
thinking they can just,
Well, and that's the thing
come on
too.
and
So
bring it to me.
We're gonna
Full service.
Yeah, it's full service. We'll be pumping. We're gonna have a. It's gonna be.
Oh, it's gonna be a full service station?
Yeah. So we're just gonna kind of change it.
Maybe I will
see
go there.
in that little corridor there between, I don't know the roads well, Genesee and
French?
yeah, down well
Well,
Walden. Yes, it's just there's a couple gas stations. They're. I don't know how to say it. We want to put a nice one in. You know what I mean? That will attract and kind of make the neighborhood a little better. And, we figured within the next 5-10 years that whole section is going to start getting bought up anyway. So, why not get in and try to beat the rush, I guess.
What would your hours of operation be?
I'm not sure. It'd probably be similar to the store. I mean, I think we're going to change the store hours, and we're going to start opening at 8 because we got a coffee. We're starting to do coffee, breakfast, and stuff like that. And we'd probably have to do it at the gas station. It would probably still be like, we'd probably do 8 to 11 maybe, and then 24 hours if you use your card on the pumps. Be self-service after that.
Okay. So as you know, this is probably going to generate more traffic in and out of your property.
Yep.
You do have residential property to the back with Regal Street and Martin Court.
Yep.
One of the things the board has talked about is if we do approve the concept, we'll give you a heads up, we are going to require a vinyl privacy fence to the rear of that property.
Yeah, we have one on the back of the building now. We just extend it. Even if they want it a little higher, like, so we're not here to, piss off the neighbors, you know what I mean? So whatever, even if they come out and say, hey, we make that a little higher or something, we're totally with whatever we got to do there. They've been good to us. I mean, I know we've had a couple car shows that's made them mad that we stopped doing and stuff. So when we get feedback from the community, we try to listen.
And no plans in the future to do that again, correct?
No, that's done.
Okay.
We didn't know it was going to be that big. I mean, it was the first one of the year, and we moved to a new spot, and we were just, I don't know, that got wild.
Well, if you've ever seen the one at Eastern Hills, when people find out about it,
Yeah.
even if you get 100th of that, you've got too many cars over
Well,
there.
we started having it at the parking garage at the Galleria. We were almost filling that whole
Really?
parking. Yeah, it got big. So there was no way we could. That'd be cool. It brings a lot of people, but it's just,
People have a lot of toys in their garage.
yeah, the next
They
day
drive.
my phone just, it was, so I had to stop that.
Not sound like a good idea.
No.
Okay, we'll open up to questions from the board.
What about the lighting along the back too, because of the neighbors? How are you planning on lighting, like, that parking lot and whatnot? 'Cause it's a concern.
so I could probably answer that for you. Site lighting, no matter what it is, requires it to be down lighting.
Right, yeah.
The lighting cannot protrude past his property line. So let's say you went with an 8-foot vinyl fence or something like that. That site light could not go up and above that fence no matter what.
Even though they have those higher, usually they have
It could be
fish-
up 30 feet, but the
You
lights they
still
have
would,
today.
still- okay,
cascade straight
okay,
down.
gotcha, I
So-
gotcha.
Now, is it a code to leave those on all night and just have the awning lights on?
No, you could,
We could do something like that.
honestly, it probably should be shut off at night. If the
Yeah.
parking lot's empty and you just have the area where the pumps are lit,
Yeah.
again, that would be straight down, that doesn't cascade out. That's required by law, so.
Anything else from the board?
I have a couple of concerns we discussed. Access for the fuel delivery truck. It doesn't seem like there's, I've seen the property, but access from a tractor trailer to get back there, make the delivery of fuel and then get out. Sounds like it's going to be a concern how it happens. Also residents nearby with the fumes, why they are putting the delivery in, so where the access to fill ports should be, pretty, as unobstructed to people that live there as possible. We also talked about the egress and the entrance and exit. That in your drawing, it seems kind of close together, and like you said, the signal at up close to Tops and the other one's down at French Road. A lot of times, if you've ever tried to pull out of Ream Road or any of the other businesses over there, it doesn't give you much of a big space to pull out. So there may be some concerns there you want to think about before.
Well, the back of the building too, you can go around the back.
Yeah.
It would fit in there around the back and stuff. I mean, he could even back in. I mean, I think there'd be enough room just because like the one on the corner, I mean, they have the teeny parking spot.
Right, these are just considered
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
things to
yeah.
look at, so. I'm not in the gas business, so.
Yeah.
Anything else for the board?
Yeah, to piggyback off what John was saying, you've got like two
Yeah.
two entrances, and again, the DOT is going to be the ones that make that decision. I think you can pretty much count on that not happening. I would be surprised if it did. And again, going back to the filling trucks, I think there's going to have to be something where they're going to have to come around the current building to get in there. I can't see with one entrance them trying to make that loop in there and have enough room and still have room to park your vehicles and stuff. And I could be wrong. Obviously, it has to be done to scale and what have you.
Is there enough turning radius back there?
That's what I don't know. Maybe there isn't on the corner of his current
So you all
building.
understand, if he moves forward with this, they actually have a program that they generate to see the actual radius for turning and everything else. There's a whole program specifically for engineers for that purpose.
Because I'm not
If it
figuring
wouldn't fit, they
it
would
out.
tell.
Yeah, even if they told us to take down a portion of the back building, we would just take down and reblock it.
Okay. The other thing too is I can't, I think you're going to be in I don't know so much as a right turn in only, but
Well, they do.
a right turn out again, I think that's going to be.
The state will determine that. If they feel it's going to be an issue, they'll issue an automatic right turn in, right turn out only. But again, the state dictates that. That wouldn't be us that dictates that.
Yeah, Member Soha mentioned, I'm sure DOT is going to have some comments on this, and, we're going to have to wait for that also.
Yeah. No, and we bring a lot of traffic now. I mean, we do, 400 or 500 cars a day out of there, so.
Is that what you're generating now? Wow. Well, it's funny because I'm always glancing over because it's stuff that's been on my watch here, and I look and there's only a couple cars in there, but they're typically running. They're usually not probably hanging out very long. They're getting
No,
out.
it's like when we first opened, people would hang out in there, and we're like, come on, they gotta get out of here, But now it's they're in and out. They don't even look at the cases no more. We could take all the cases out of the store. They just come in there and know what they want, So it's it's constantly just all day, instead of big lines. And I think everybody found the right time to come too. They know come at 4:30. You come
8
at
a.m.?
5:30. Yep. So they're getting it down pretty good. And then a lot of delivery too. We're doing a lot of delivery. So, and we're trying to do more delivery to, just kind of shorten everything down. Not as many people in the store,
Anything else from board members? Legal, Sam?
Oh my gosh, Mr. Kyler. So as you know, we were one of the first municipalities to pass a local law regarding cannabis regulation, and you slid in just under the wire before some state court litigation stopped additional applications, which was great for the village, great for you, and other than a blip with car shows that you addressed right away,
Yeah.
I think it's been a very good working relationship. I say that as a preface to my concerns about this project, specifically the way it would impact the ability to have a cannabis use shop if they weren't completely separated one way or the other. And what concerns me is looking at the drawing and seeing that it's one building for the convenience store, which is the same building for the cannabis store. There's prohibition on selling alcohol in the same facility you're selling cannabis. There's a prohibition on hours before or after. I think it's 10 to 10. And I know you'd comply with the rules if we told you to. I just think I'm just scratching the surface on the interplay of these two things.
The alcohol, we weren't too fond on alcohol, selling alcohol. A lot of cannabis.
I just, you walk into any gas station,
Yeah.
they have six packs and stuff like that.
So, just so you know, even though it's one building, he has to have fire separations. It would be no different than the cannabis shop that's going next to the liquor store on Wallen right now. It's the same building, separate entrances, separate fire separations.
Okay.
So that's not illegal in the state's eyes for code.
I guess I not as many weed stores as you, John. Sorry. Okay, that's just my read of the plan with one building. So,
Can I?
yeah.
I actually spoke with Elise Bergio, who is very well versed in the cannabis stuff, legalese, And a while back, Brad a girl wanted to come in and lease a space in the store for a coffee shop. And some people were concerned about, one business being in the same building as the cannabis dispensary. The only way that it would be an issue is if he was, say, the coffee shop, if they were both one business combined.
Right.
To be a separate unit in one building one has no effect on the other.
No, I agree.
Separate buildings.
Mixed-use occupancies.
So, all right, well, those are my biggest concerns, is the interplay between the cannabis law. Obviously, state regulations control. We're just piggybacking on those with most of what we do. That we don't like drive-throughs yet for cannabis stores. I think that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Code enforcement, Don, Kate?
Oh, it's pretty cut and dry. This is concept only. If you decide to grant it and moves forward, we'll have a lot more input as to what happens at that point, because there's going to be a lot of work on our end to figure this out properly. But as of right now, this is concept. It's completely up to you.
I had a list of questions that have all been answered.
Awesome. Did we get anything from engineering?
No.
Yeah, again, being
Again, this is
concept,
just
they're not.
concepts. They really won't weigh in on a concept.
Correct. Okay. Fire department, chief?
Just my only concerns were the increased traffic, and I know high rates of speed on Transit Road there between the lights at McDonald's and Tops and at Transit and French, and just how people get going between 50 and 60 miles per hour, and anybody making a left-hand turn out of there. But that'll probably be a traffic study anyways by, like they said, by the state. So I was concerned about accidents, increased accidents, right? At those high rates of speed, a lot of times are fatal accidents, unfortunately. And then the other thing is as far as you take the proper precautions, obviously, with the fire suppression systems and stuff like that, with having the gas station, right?
Yeah, we're not going to do the work. We got it. We're working with Monroe Mechanical. They build they're a huge company that do it. So we're going to let the pros do that one if it happens.
Do you know where the closest hydrant is? I didn't check that. I wanted to get a look at that today.
Right next door.
Is there one right next door?
There's one across the street, too.
We're at the nail place?
And that's coming off Transit Road, so that's
Going
kitchen
towards
place, isn't
to
it?
the,
Ferguson?
there's one at Ferguson, and then there's one between Ream and Lee Street.
the water supply is plenty there,
Okay,
Yes.
well, just
very plentiful.
Yeah. That,
thought that
believe it or
crossed
not,
my mind after you said it.
believe it or not, somehow a couple of those hydrants actually ended up on a 30-inch line.
On the what?
30-inch line.
Oh, whoa.
Some pressure.
That's
Yes.
all I have, Chairman Macheski.
Thank you. Okay, is there any public concerns and comments? Okay, would you come forward to the podium? For the record, state your name and address, please.
My name's Jason Kane, address 33 Martin Court, right behind there. First question I had, Don, you mentioned the DOT making a right turn.
So DOT is going to weigh in heavily on this.
My question for that is that determinant after its approval? If it's approved and the DOT says this is a right turn only, is there a requirement for a median or that egress to have a barrier only because we have that underneath the viaducts over by the old Shamrock, and they have these no left turn signs, and 9-10 times a day I've seen people go across or just violate that. So is there a requirement by the DOT to, similar to the circles in Central, where the main one has a rise to it, but the one by the tower is
People drive over it pretty
inefficient?
regularly.
Is there a
So-
requirement by them?
Unfortunately, I can't answer that question. The state is their own entity. But they do a traffic study, and they're going to weigh in heavily on this. We can't approve it without their input. So right now, this is concept only. This is an idea.
Yep.
If they allow him to move forward, at that point, he gets an architect, an engineer.
Fair
He has
enough,
to
yeah.
send all the paperwork out to all the appropriate, places, and everyone weighs in.
No, I
If it was
understand.
closer to a
I
county road, the county would weigh in also.
I was just unaware of the process
Yeah.
for that, so if,
So no, it would not get, the state would weigh in before we could
Before
approve
approve
it at, the final stage of it.
gotcha. And then the other question is, if it's approved, which I mean, I'm all for a great business, they're doing well, and I know a bunch of people have gone, I have friends and stuff. If it's approved tonight to change that from the shopping to that, is there, if they do deny it for some reason, does it revert back then?
So
Or
it's,
once
they're
the
not
code's
changing
it?
zoning. You could actually put a gas station / store in a C2, which
Oh,
is
okay.
what that is.
That was-
So it's zoned properly for that already.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, those are two questions that, at least the egress and the left turns, the big thing, because we live right there, and I have to go through Tops just because I don't want to fight to make a left on Ream, make a left by Zorba's, make a left over on Airview, because there's so much
Yeah,
traffic.
we've gotten several questions today about, it's going to be on a lot of people's minds, and I'm sure it'll come up more. If it goes through tonight, it'll come up more
Gotcha.
during the next session. And again, the state's going to weigh in this. They're going to request this traffic study, and they'll make a determination what's the safest thing to do if it's approved.
Okay, cool, thank
I
you.
think if I could say something further too, I was on the Lancaster Planning Board when the Tim Hortons was put in, the south end of Lancaster, just prior to the, to where, Sonic is, by Coles there. And originally, the idea was that was gonna be a right turn only out of there. And what they did is they put in a short, the thing where it basically sends you one way or the other. And what people were basically doing was destroying their car going across it. It got to the point where the landowner had to take it out.
Well, that's similar to the Mighty Taco on the corner of Transit and Genesee, which
Right.
they unfortunately didn't have enough riser on that.
Yep.
It also refers back to the Tim Hortons on Walden by Dick Road, which now is closed because they couldn't get enough foot traffic through there and drive traffic because you couldn't make a turn out of it.
Yep. So I'll say right now, my thought is gonna be, if it goes to a right-hand turn, there's gonna have to be something there that people can't just drive over. Because
Fair enough.
two things that the benefit is, first of all, people are, again, they're gonna make that left whether you tell them to or not.
Sure.
Unless they can't. And the other thing that was, again, going back to the situation in Lancaster, people were destroying their vehicles on this curb because it wasn't stopping people from making the left turn. I guess the problem was, and when they would do it, sometimes they damage their vehicles. So like I said, it was taken out. This time, having learned from that, it's gotta be something
And
that's
that's, like I
more
said, I was
prominent.
asking
So I
Don,
agree.
because when Brian mentioned too, I mean, the speed you can hear, we hear motorcyclists unfortunately on Transit Road between those two sections, and I can see that happening. I'm sure it's happened multiple times already where somebody's trying to make a right turn into a business there, and someone's coming up, so I can see it back up on there. That's why the entrance and the egress was a big question of mine, because obviously they'll have multiple to get in, but coming over that blind hill with
The hill,
now
I mentioned that.
Midtown Light,
Sure.
Tops Light,
Yep.
the light over by John and Mary's, there's so many, but it's becoming, that section's becoming almost like closer towards Maple where it's just packed back, and you're stopping and they're lining up 4 or 5 cars where it just causes more of a concern than, like I said, driving.
I agree with what you said, so my
Those are the
thoughts
two big
is
ones.
similar.
for Don. Thank you.
Yes, and again, giving them the concept approval tonight, if it's done, does not give them the go-ahead.
Oh,
Final
and like
project.
I said, I'm all for it. If they do business, I'm all about bringing business, and that'd be great. But like I said, living over there, I just wanted to make sure that, and now instead of going to Transit or Tops every single time, I might be able to make a left or get out by like Zorba's and stuff like that still, so.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay. Any other public concerns or comments? Okay. With that, a motion would be in order to make a recommendation to the village board.
I, Dave Fedotz, make a motion to approve the concept plan.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
On a motion by member Fedorovich, second by member Matuzak to make a recommendation to the village board to accept the concept plan. We have a roll call vote, please.
Member Soha?
Yes.
Member Fedorovich?
Yep.
Member Matuzak?
Yes.
Member Spencer?
Yes.
Chairman Macheski?
Yes,
5 yes.
motion's carried. Good luck, and again, just for your benefit, there will be another hearing if he does decide to go ahead with this, with all the final plans put forward, so.
You guys ever got concerns or anything?
Like I said, it's
We're
just.
right there, you can just ask.
And we've dealt with the issues we've had in the past, which obviously was addressed. Like I said, it's for concern of mine, it's like traffic.
Yeah.
Because of the fact we have to go to top still, because transit has become more towards people.
Yeah.
And it's become ease as opposed to more complicated. So it's not physically you can do it, that's why John had mentioned the DOT, which I wanted to follow up on, because it's
Okay, thank you for your input. With that, a motion is in order to adjourn.
So moved. Second?
Motion by member Saw, second by member Spencer, to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned at 7:25.
All right. Just a second, everybody.
Good.